You've always been a rule follower. Played it by the book. Followed the rules. You did what was expected. You took the smart route, right? The tried and true methods. You stayed in line. And on paper, it worked. You got the degree. You got the accolades. You got the career. You got the house. You got the car. You made the money. You built the life. But still, something is gnawing at you, right? And not because you broke the rules. You feel pretty good about that. But because you followed all of them to a T, and still, somehow, you don't feel like yourself. You don't feel completely like you, who you think you might be. This video is for everybody who's ever done everything right, who always followed the rules to stand out, but somehow still ended up blending in. But I'm not only going to share with you how easy it is to fall into the trap of trying to stand out, I'm going to tell you how to stand out for real. And it has nothing to do with being unique, living your truth, making your mark, or being unapologetically you. Because let me tell you something, all that noise, that's not uniqueness. That's not originality. It's just conformity in costume. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 signs that you're probably not standing out the way you think you are, and how to get back to the version of you that was never supposed to blend in the first place. You know, I was at this party once. I was talking to this girl, and she tells me that she loves fashion, and that fashion's really her thing. And so naturally I say, well, what is it about fashion that you love? And she tells me that she loves fashion because you can look at what someone's wearing and that it'll tell you their whole story. Now look, I really don't keep up with the trends. I'm usually late on when you're supposed to wear fitted pants, when you're supposed to wear baggy ones. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. But what was interesting to me about what she said was that fashion itself is this space or this industry that kind of tells people what to wear to be approved of. And you can kind of look around and see that most everybody's wearing the same stuff, right? So what is the singular, individual, unique story that one person is telling by wearing the same stuff that everybody else has on? The thing about fashion that's so crazy is that the actual trends in fashion don't limit themselves to the price points. So what you get is different versions of the same things at low price points and at higher price points, but everything is meant to be reaching for the same trends, the same things, right? The same movements that are happening in fashion. And for you, maybe it's not what you wear. Maybe you're not trying to get approval that way. Maybe for you, it's you get the more expensive car. You buy the better vacation. You get more curated branding. You may not be copying everybody else directly, but you're still playing the same game everybody else is playing. You're just playing it at a higher price point in a different category of resources. You mistake being elevated for being distinct, but they're not the same. The reality is that elevation without purpose, without intention, just puts you in a shinier version of the same mold. If you're using money to try to prove how different you are, you're probably not being who you were built to be. You're just better funding your conformity. Second sign is that you're respected, but you're not necessarily remembered. Everybody thinks well of you. You're dependable. Maybe you're even admired. But you feel forgettable, replaceable, like your story hasn't really been told yet. This happens when you have become really good at executing somebody else's version of success. And most people don't even know what respect is. We use it interchangeably with approval. It's what people agree with us for doing. or agree with us for saying, right? You see that all over social media. People feign respect with words of approval, words of affirmation, but you don't stand out by doing what other people say they respect you for doing. You stand out by doing whatever it was you were made to do, whatever it was you were designed for. That's the only way to stand out, especially in today's world when everybody's wearing the same stuff, everybody's doing the same things to do this performance of uniqueness. It's like, it's performative individuality. You ever notice how much you hate being complimented for something that you don't even care about? Something that you really, it really doesn't move you. And you get praise for being put together, for always being on point, for being the one who gets it done. But the reality is you've been playing a role for so long, you don't even remember what you look like under the costume. Other people's supposed respect starts feeling like another version of being misunderstood. But you're told you're respected, and you don't want to lose the respect because respect is a good thing to have. So you just keep doing the same things that it took to get the respect in the first place. And it's a loop, and it just keeps going. Because respect is a good thing to have. I mean, by all accounts, and you don't want it to go away. You don't want people to not respect you. So you keep going along with it. And the more respect you get, the more applause you get, the harder it is to break out of that. Which brings me to number 3. You mistake cultural acceptance for personal expression. You use all the same quotes, the same badges on your social profile. It's also sad that we continue to virtue signal, looking for everybody's approval, and saying that we're different, saying that we're speaking out, when we're just saying the same thing that everybody else is saying. In other words, you're you, but it's a curated you. It's pieces of this and that, put kind of in the places that you don't like so much. Everything's smoothed out. All the wrinkles, all the spots you don't want people, all the places you don't really want people to see. It's, slightly edited for taste. And your voice might fit the moment, but it doesn't really match with the core of who you are. You don't challenge the narrative, you follow the format. You don't rock the boat. And when you think about it, what has shown itself to be true throughout history is that the biggest crowds are usually where the wrongest minds gather. Unique ideas don't come out of large gatherings of people who all think the same thing, who all say the same stuff and recycle the same thoughts. Just because a lot of people feel it doesn't make it right. Standing out isn't about rebelling. It's about telling the truth. And the first place you can tell the truth is about who you are. That's your first opportunity to be truthful. It's the main way that we fully tell the truth, is by being who God made us to be. If you're being anything else, you're lying. No matter how successful you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter how many kinds of shirts you can afford to buy to tell whatever story it is you want people to think is true about you. It's so crazy how in a world where everybody is doing the same stuff, different versions of the same things, to try to stand out, what ends up happening is that everybody looks the same. The only way to ensure that you stand out is by doing what you were built for, by being whoever it was God designed you to be. Period. Like, subscribe, share. And share, especially if you heard this and it resonated or it made you think about somebody you know that is amazing, does all the great things, all the right things, but they've just been playing by the same script that everybody else plays by. They've just been doing the same thing everybody else does. Remember, whatever you do it by design. I'll see you next time.